What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Joseph Cohen Mason, and today, guys, I want to review and talk about a movie which I just seen and is among my all-time favorite movies. That movie being directed by Quentin Tarantino, who is actually one of my all-time favorite film directors. Now, Quentin Tarantino has made some movies like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, and he's also made a bunch of other movies like Death Proof, I believe, and also he's planning to make an upcoming Western followed up by this movie, which I'm going to review soon, which is called The Hateful Eight, and I'm excited for that movie. But for today, I want to review Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, a action-adventure spaghetti western, also, as Quentin Tarantino likes to quote, a southern western, not a spaghetti western, because he's from the south and how he's a big fan of westerns, specifically spaghetti westerns, like the classic films of Sergio Leone and a bunch of other filmmakers from the spaghetti western era, which, if you don't know, is an Italian version of the American westerns, and they were very popular at the time, and Quentin Tarantino is among those fanboys who love the hell out of those spaghetti westerns. And this movie is it was made in 2012. It stars Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel Jackson, and Kerry Washington. And the basic plot of this movie, it tells the story of a slave named Django who gets freed by a doctor, a dentist, or rather a bounty hunter named Dr. King Schultz, a German bounty hunter who's looking for I think they are called the Bacall brothers or the Bacall gang, or rather he's looking for three specific brothers who have a bounty on their heads because of the crimes they committed, and he needs Django to identify these three people, these three men, and he frees Django, and in return he'll give him his freedom. And Django also wants to look for his wife Broomhilda, a fellow slave, and his wife who speaks German and is being held captive by this very sinister, diabolical, very insane plantation owner named Calvin Candy in Candyland, his plantation where he has a bunch of slaves under his control. And Django and Dr. King Schultz work together to track down Candy after King Schultz tries to train Django to become a bounty hunter. He educates him to read and write, and he tries to teach him how to survive. And Django is going to use all these skills to hunt down Candy and get his wife Broomhilda back. And his wife Broomhilda, if you don't know, is played by Kerry Washington, the beautiful Kerry Washington. And there's one problem. I won't spoil much, but let me just say that Calvin Candy has he has a very loyal slave under his control, that slave being Stephen, the head slave of the house he lives at, and Stephen's played by Samuel Jackson. And Jackson is funny, he's very disturbing, and at the same time, he is quite insane, probably more so than Candy is, and that says something. A guy who's supposedly a victim of slavery actually is loyal to his master, and that's a very scary aspect in this movie, and what slavery can do to people, whether they be loyal to their masters, or they want to run away from their masters, or they just want to I don't know, man, slavery's fucked up, guys, and this movie is ultimately a revenge film. It's not meant to be taken seriously as a historical drama on slavery and the plantations that were holding these slaves at the time, and how African Americans were victims of this time and this time period during the West, which was very horrible. No, this movie is a revenge fantasy created by Quentin Tarantino, and it tells the story through Django's perspective, who is out for revenge against the white folks. Or as he likes to put it, I like the way you die, boy. Yeah, that's Django for you. And this movie, oh my god, I love it, guys. I love this movie. The direction by Quentin Tarantino is incredible. I love his sense of his like, the environment looks gorgeous. His attention to detail is so great. There's so much attention to detail in the environment, the setting, he's able to get good performances out of his actors. Every actor in this movie does a great job, especially Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz, Samuel Jackson, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Those four guys are awesome. And Kerry Washington is very good, but she doesn't do much. I don't know, but I guess it's not her fault, but more the fact that her character isn't well written. Besides being a victim of slavery, besides being a victim of Calvin Candy's insane mistreatment of her, and I wish there would have been a female badass in this movie, but we don't got one. But it's okay. I still love the movie. So that's cool. And oh my god, I was talking gangster and shit right now. But anyways, I love the movie and its direction, the performances, the cinematography, the editing. Oh my god, guys, the editing, wow. This movie has a lot of great editing. It has a lot of great moments in the film where I was mesmerized by the environment, by the dialogue. The dialogue, guys, is just so cool. It's funny, it's witty, and it's also very, it has a lot of humor, dark humor in fact. There's one scene in the movie which includes a bunch of these guys wearing masks, and they were discussing whether or not they should hunt down Django while wearing mask or without mask. And that's just hilarious, guys. That scene is so funny. It's so insanely obscure. I mean, what brought that scene about mask into that moment when they're hunting down Django and Dr. King Schultz? I don't know. But a bunch of dumb rednecks or whatever walking around wearing masks, hunting down black people. I don't know. But anyways, this movie is just very good, a very good movie I like. Quentin Tarantino has been known for making movies that tend to, it tends to get very, how do I say this? His dialogue is something he's very in love with, because usually in a Quentin Tarantino movie, he keeps a shot very still and he tries to show dialogue between two people, and sometimes it can be very redundant, but in this movie, the dialogue fits very well. Every moment of the movie is very important to the overall plot and how it builds up from beginning to end. Now, the only problem I have with this movie, the only problem I have with it, is actually the N-word. Now, the N-word, if you don't know, is a derogatory term used to insult people of colored skin. You know, like blacks or any sort of people from different backgrounds. Now, me being of colored skin, I'm not exactly like black or brown, but I am kind of in between, being of colored skin myself. I don't find any offense in the language, the N-word specifically, but I understand that some people might be outraged by it, or they might go nuts over the N-word used constantly in the movie. Now, the N-word isn't a big deal for me personally, but I understand if you're upset by it. But this movie is very fun. The action is so cool. The blood and gore is just so awesome. It oozes gore, guys. The blood is just so wow, it's gorgeous. And the way Quentin Tarantino shoots action in this movie with the blood and the shooting, it's all so cool and so beautiful. It's very gory and disgusting, but it's just beautiful, guys, and that is because of how Quentin Tarantino shoots the scene. He shoots the action well, he shoots the setting well, and the environment. Everything in this movie works so well. Jamie Foxx is at his best in Django, which has never happened in his career, not since Ray, the 2004 drama he won Oscar for. I think it was 2004, I believe. And you have Samuel Jackson, who's great as Stephen, the slave, the loyal slave of Calvin Candy. And you also have the two best performances, in my opinion. The two best performances are from Dr. King Schultz, who's played very well by what's his name? Christoph Waltz. He's very great in the movie. And you also have, oh my god, you have probably my favorite performance of the movie, my absolute favorite. And that performance is by Leonardo DiCaprio as Calvin Candy, the head of Candyland. And this guy, at the beginning, he's very charming, likable, very funny. But as the movie goes on, he is just an insane, psychotic maniac. This guy, Calvin Candy, is just so out there. And oh my god, this guy is a total... He's a bad guy. See, Calvin Candy is a bad guy, plain simple, that's it. But, this movie, the action is very cool, the dialogue is very funny and witty, the cinematography is gorgeous, the direction and performances by Quentin Tarantino and the entire cast of the movie, it's also great. I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10 stars, a 10 out of 10 stars. I would deduct a rating, 1 point rating from the movie because of the N-word used constantly in the film, but it didn't bother me all that much, like I said, so it's fine. And in the end, guys, Django Unchained is by far my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, my favorite of his films. I love this movie, guys. I love Pulp Fiction, I love Reservoir Dogs, but this movie is better in my personal opinion. It's better, I said it, and I'm done, guys, I'm done. Until next time, peace out, take care. If you like my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, guys, take care, sayonara, adios, amigos, and au revoir.